So what advice would I give to my younger self or those just starting in security? So to my younger self, I'm going to say invest heavily in Cisco, Amazon, and Microsoft. Back in the 90s, take that measly paycheck I was making there and invest that. And then life is going to be pretty groovy after that. What else I'm going to tell myself is to study more. There were not anywhere near the amount of study materials in the 90s that there are today, but study. Pick up a book, read that book, and educate yourself.
I think the most important thing to me is it took me a long time to realize that for this to really be impactful, it's not a technical discipline. It's a business discipline. So even if you are like myself, where you've got a master's degree in computer science, you think of yourself as a hardcore technologist, I think I would give myself the advice to take a step back and say, technology is cool, but put it into the context of what the business is trying to do.
The one piece of advice that I think I would offer is choose to become an expert. When I was starting out in my career, I always thought that becoming an expert was a thing that happened to you rather than a thing that you do. But I've come to realize it's a choice that you make to work towards. It takes time, but if something interests you, use all the resources available to you to learn everything there is to know about that thing. And it's a lot easier these days with the internet. There's a lot of great information on cybersecurity out there that's free, it's fully available. And taking full advantage of that, like pick a piece and become an expert.
I get asked the question often of what advice would you give to younger folks who are trying to join this industry or join technology industries at all. And it's very simple. For me, it is very easy to shine in anything you do. It's very easy to do one more thing than others do. And it's very easy to make yourself stand out. And one of the easiest ways to do that in technology is to read. And it sounds so simple, but everything that we do in technology is written down, and you can learn everything. You just have to read. And you can be better than those around you just by knowing a little bit more. And if you're able to sit in a meeting and quote something, an article that you read yesterday, or an academic white paper that you read last week, and you're able to show that you have vested time in making yourself better and not just doing your daily tasks, that you will climb the ladder faster than you ever thought possible. And people will think of you as the expert. They won't just think of you as the computer guy in the basement. They will think of you as someone who knows what they're doing and that they can rely on.
I guess for me, it's first of all, be patient. Be patient and stay up to date. I think one of the really interesting things about the security field is just the constant technology is evolving, threats are evolving, and that, so you really have to stay up to date with it. One of the things I've always been told is take the hard job. If I go back to the time when I first got involved in security, my boss at the time said, "Oh, that's what that meeting was about. You don't want anything to do with it. You run as fast as you can." And I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't.
Are there any things that I would tell my younger self, or what I would coach somebody on? In a lot of cases, the bar is pretty low. And the first step is show up to work on time, work the whole day, and every once in a while, ask for something else to do. And that third one really kind of freaks people out. When you say, "Hey, is there anything else I can do?" Boss will freak out a little bit, but they'll typically say no, but it's always in the back of your mind or their mind that you're ready to do something else.
For those that are just starting, there's a lot of people, how do I get into security? Nobody's going to invite you in. You're going to have to just get in. So, own your own career, forge your way in, show that initiative, show that hustle. There's so much great material out there for you to do self-education. Once you show me you have that passion, I am so happy to mentor those that are younger. But Don't ask me for my time, my advice, my everything. And then when I see you're not doing it, you come back and ask me again, why is it not happening? Why am I not getting in? Because you don't have that hustle. I also believe that you don't start in security. Security, you have to understand the foundation, how packets get from point A to point B. You have to understand the role-based access control. You have to do and understand before you can move into security. So I also believe you have to work a little bit in the trenches in the other technologies before you try to shift into security.
And people have this perception that cybersecurity is really sexy and it's all really cool stuff and fun, and it's actually a lot of spreadsheets and it's a lot of data. So it's more, you have to prepare yourself for it's, at the end of the day, it's work. And the more that you're prepared for that, and quite frankly prepared for anything, the day may go from really kind of slow to a potential incident that isn't. So you get fired up on that, and then there's sometimes where you just have to sweep the floors because that's what needs to be done.
I think the biggest advice that I would give to anybody that's starting in cybersecurity is to actually understand the problem you're trying to solve, right? I think there's a lot of smart individual people working in cybersecurity, but I think that sometimes they're solving for their own problem. You really need to understand the business drivers, and then once you understand the business drivers, then what are the problems you're trying to solve, and then you layer on top of them security, and then you have a holistic problem you're solving. So now you're not doing piecemeal security.
If I coach people on any one thing, it's that you really have to maintain a very even keel, calm demeanor. Because if people see me as the CISO with my hair on fire, what little hair there is left, it's not going to go well. So good, bad, or indifferent, if things are great, this is about the demeanor you get, and if things are bad, this is the demeanor you get, and that's more of a learned skill.